Hey guys, so our most requested video is a walk around of our Jeep Gladiator. The reason we chose a Jeep Gladiator is because it is the most capable platform to the most amount of space for off-road stuff and overlanding gear. We could have went with a Wrangler, but we wouldn't have had the truck bed, which gives us a ton more space. And we could have went with like a Toyota Tacoma or something like that and had a truck bed, but then we would have had IFS and no front locker. With the limited amount of money you can put into something like this, you can put a 40-inch tire on it and have lockers front and rear. So that's why we went with the Jeep Gladiator. It can rock crawl, and it can overland, and it can be extremely capable for not a lot of money.
That's it, yeah!
Starting in the front, we have the DV8 stubby bumper. Been a really good bumper. I do contact this bumper when I flex now. I'll talk about why I contact this bumper. But when I do flex severely, I do contact this. So I would like to go to an even more minimalist bumper soon. We have the Warn VR Evo 10K winch on it with a steel cable line right now. I do have a synthetic line replacement. I just haven't put it on. With the Factor 55 Pro Link. I really like that because it's symmetrical. Looks good. And just some affordable but high quality fog lights. And these have a metal case. They're not a plastic case. So they've been really, really good lights. So I've been really close to breaking my factory fenders several times under a heavy flex, and so I replaced the factory fenders with these urethane KBD fenders. And you can fold these against the hood, which I've done several times, and no issues. They come back to original shape and they look really good. You get a lot of wheel poke this way. Depending on where you live, you might get pulled over. Basically the whole tire is outside the wheel well. It's definitely not legal where we live, but I haven't had a problem with it yet. Steering wise, I have the Apex chassis 2.5 ton steering kit. It's literally the best upgrade that we've put into the Jeep Gladiator. These have horrible steering factory. They're all over the road, especially with a huge tire like this. It's a definite upgrade, and I have the flip kit, which is why I'm able to flex so much and contact the side of my bumper. I've even ripped my grill off before, and now it's super loose because I've busted off some tabs because I flex straight into the grill. That is because I have the flip kit with the 2.5 ton steering, but it's awesome. It comes with the tie rod, the drag link, and the tie rod ends. Absolutely recommend it. I also have a Bilstein steering stabilizer, which is much better than the factory one. It's not adjustable or anything, but it is nice and stiff, and I really like that. We have a kind of a mid-tier Skyjacker 3.5 inch lift, and that's another thing. I have a 3.5 inch lift, and I'm able to shove a 40-inch tire in here no problem and have zero rub. Full lock to lock, no issues at all. Flex all the way, contact my fenders a little bit, but really I'm not contacting anything vital. So we are going to upgrade that. I do want to do some coilovers or something, maybe some go fast parts, but it's been fine. It has 40,000 really hard miles on it, and it still functions fine. It's just really noisy. Same with the sway bar. That's definitely going to go. We're definitely going to get the Rock Jock sway bar. I have all 8 Rock Jock control arms, so I think they are the best option in terms of out-of-the-box control arms for a rig like this. Once you go to a larger lift with the tires, you need an aftermarket front drive shaft. We have Adams drive shafts in the Jeep. They've been great, no issues at all. We've also got Yukon 513 gears. I do wish we went to a 538 gear. The ring and pinions these days are so strong that I wouldn't be too concerned about the pinion being smaller. But still, I did the 513 just to have peace of mind of having a smaller pinion and a little bit higher RPM on the highway. So we have all Ironman 4x4 lights except for the front lights. This is a newer light that they're offering. It's a really high quality light. We have their clear ditch light and then their yellow front facing pods, and really happy with them. They're extremely bright. They're in a metal casing, a much better light offering than they've had in the past. And it's on a 7s. The brand is 7s. It's like a CNC milled little mount, so you can mount 2 lights here instead of just 1. They also have their 50-inch light bar, single row as well. We replaced the factory Ruby rail with an Ironman 4x4 product as well. The factory Ruby rail is fine, but it's low, and it also doesn't stick out. So I have damaged my door before. I've had it wrapped up against a tree, and the slider did nothing. This sticks out roughly 4 inches or so, and it has served its purpose really well. I've used it a lot, and I've completely been able to avoid damaging the cab. On top of that, they mount higher too, so better clearance. I really like them. So up here we have a Deviate roof rack. It's a pretty budget-friendly roof rack. It's the full cab length, so you can put a ton of stuff up there. I've also got a Pelican box up there, and I just keep like some tools and a ball joint press, things, axle shaft sockets, things that I would rarely need to use. So like I said, we run 40-inch tires. These are the Nitto Trail Grapplers. Really one of my favorite tires. Super hard compound. I can air them down to single PSI. I've done it before. Never had a problem popping a bead. Really good tire, hard wearing tire. Good if you're doing a lot of highway miles because they wear so well. We also run the Method bead lock. Nothing but good things to say about that. They look good. I like the aluminum ring. Just a really good bead lock. I love the look of it. Proven product. It works really well. So we have a set of 4 traction boards. These are just an affordable set on Amazon. I picked them because they stack really thin, and I've really beat them really bad, and they still function perfectly. I really like them. So this is the Extrusion Overland bed rack. This is the XTR1 series bed rack from Extrusion, and definitely the best bed rack in the industry for multiple reasons. First of all, I think it looks really good, but it has the access gate, which is, as you can see, the side of the bed rack opens, which mitigates the biggest problem with bed racks, in my opinion, is the need to climb through the back of your truck to access anything in the front of your bed. This has been a game changer. Literally the reason why I went with this product. It's such a good product. These struts can hold 60 pounds, so you could easily mount your boards. You could mount a high lift jack. I think a high lift jack weighs in at like 40 pounds or so you could easily lift that up. Game changer. And I probably have about 15,000 miles of really hard wheeling on this rack, and it's still perfect. Never had to tighten it up. No issues. This is a diesel heater. H Calorie is the brand. It's from Hong Kong, actually. I have about 13,000 miles of it being hard mounted here. Functions like day one. Perfect heater. I extended the thermostat so that it can reach up into my tent so I can adjust it. But yeah, I definitely recommend that. It's only like $200. It's a total game changer. We use the Tough Stuff Alpha 2 rooftop tent. It's a side opening tent. I went with that tent so that I could have it at the same height as there's a lot of tents like this on the market. We went with this one because it has a really impressive gear vault on the inside, it's a decent mattress, and it also has interior and exterior lights, which I really like, white or amber. They're super nice to be able to see inside the tent. You can dim the lights. It just has a ton of extra features that the other brands don't offer, and so I really like the tent. I definitely recommend it. Fantastic tent, fantastic product. I'm talking to a few companies now. I know of one that I can do this with for sure, or I could fabricate my own. But I want to chop the bedside basically here where the frame is, because these stupid sliders down here are pointless. I just want to use the frame as a slider and mount the bumper higher up here. Better departure angle. Plus, the bumper is so deep, it's just unnecessary. And then you have your tow package here, which could really be hiding behind your license plate. So those are the changes we're going to make back here. We also really want the flush mount taillights because I've broken these twice. And almost again. We have decked. Definitely one of the reasons why we went with the Gladiator, because this basically doubles the bed space if you pack it that way. If you don't need the height of the bed space, this can double your bed space. In the left drawer we have cooking, and in the right drawer we have all of our recovery gear and some of our tools that I didn't want in the on the roof rack, like soldering gear, electrical tools, bracket straps, things like that. We also have a full array of USA Rope Offroad recovery gear. They did hook up the channel, so this is stuff that they supplied. Really awesome gear though. The company I work for does their content creation on their social media. I can link them if you're interested, but this is a 1.25 inch kinetic rope, 30 foot. Super nice. They also make really nice soft shackles, winch lines, just any soft goods. Super high-end product, made in the USA. They supply almost everybody's US made ropes, because USA Rope Offroad is a supplier as well as a brand. I cannot disclose what brands they are, but you can probably guess. You'd probably be right. I want to show you guys one more feature of the extrusion bed rack, which really changes the game in terms of bed racks. It's a slide out, and it's got a lock here so it doesn't slide out while you're driving. I just unlocked it, and then you can just slide out whatever you have mounted here. A lot of people mount recovery boards, they mount their high lift jack, they mount shovels. Max mounts his air compressor. I have my fuel cans, and I think that this is the best use of space for multiple reasons. Number one, I never have to access that diesel can. It is just hardlined into my diesel heater, and I do not have to use the slider to fuel it up. I can slide it all the way to the back and access the fill hole from over there with the slide closed. The other reason is this Gladiator has a locking tailgate, so it would be extremely difficult to crawl into the bed and remove this fuel can, whereas if it were on the outside of the bed, it would be easy. Slides in, and there's just a little twist right here that you lock the slider with. Full-size high-lift jack. I'll probably move to a different lifting means at some point, but this is affordable and it works as long as you're super careful. In the rear, we have Revolution gear chromoly shafts, and I forgot to mention, but in the front we have RCVs. We run the Rugged Ridge snorkel, and there's a lot of controversy on snorkels. It's really helpful. And the reason why is because it basically puts your air intake way up here. So not only are you avoiding water, but you're also avoiding the dense dust that you get if you're off-roading with groups. You also avoid the fatal flaw of this factory intake, which just happened to my buddy Mike. We were on the BDR. We went through some mud. He didn't have a snorkel, and there's a small square in the factory air box that basically pulls all the air through, and that small square got clogged full of mud. He overheated his Jeep, and he had to leave the BDR because he damaged his motor. He now has one of these, not because of water, but because of the intake of mud, dust, and peace of mind. We have a 100-watt solar panel on the roof. It charges our battery. We have a 100 amp hour lithium battery in the back of the Jeep. We did delete the rear seat. So the Jeep is pretty much always dirty, so I apologize about that, but we do have a Midland GMRS radio and the Stinger High 10 aftermarket deck. That's about it in terms of aftermarket stuff in the front. In the back, I almost don't even want to show you guys this because we're in the process of building a deck system that will have the fridge mounted, and all of our electrical will be underneath it and out of view and just much safer. But that's okay. We have a AlpaCool 2-zone fridge. It has a freezer and a fridge, or 2 fridges or 2 freezers. This has the upgraded LG compressor, and I think we're super happy with it. It's really efficient, stays cool, really good fridge. I really like it. Works really good. Other side of the fridge is our lithium battery. I'm not going to show you that because it looks ridiculous and dangerous. And once we have it secured and I fabricate a hold down for it with our deck system that we're putting in there, I'll show you. But right now it just looks like a mess of wires. Lithium batteries can be super dangerous if you're not careful with them. We also have a product. It's similar to a DC to DC charger, except for it's much more affordable and super easy to install. This Jeep Gladiator has the 110 plug option in the back seat. There's a DC to DC charger that you can buy that just plugs into that. Basically how you would charge a battery at home. Plug into that, and it can go to your battery. The one we have is good for lithium batteries. And so instead of wiring up crazy DC to DC charger to our alternator, we just plug it into the outlet. Back here we also have an air compressor. Right now we're just using the larger Smittybilt. Ironman 4x4 also gave us their air compressor, their larger air compressor. It's the same air compressor. They're from the same factory, and whatever overseas factory the companies get them from, they just rebrand them. They work fine. At some point I'll get a different one. I really like the larger ones, like the 10.5 or whatever CFM compressors. I'm going to get one of those and, a 4-tire air up system soon. Probably from Morphlate. Other than that, we have Apex ball joints. Also, in addition to our Apex 2.5 ton steering kit, we also have the Apex heavy duty ball joints. And not to be confused by Apex chassis, I think it's Apex Designs. We have their steering boost kit. Retains the factory pump. There's no hydraulic assist. It just boosts the PSI that your factory pump creates. They recommend this cooler. We purchased their cooler and installed it. And I really dislike the product. They claim that you can run, I believe, up to a 39 without problems. These are 40s, obviously, and they even say, you can run a 40. It just might be sticky here and there. It's absolutely atrocious, especially if you're locked, aired down on rock. You'll entirely lose your power steering completely, and you'll have to unlock, let your power steering pump cool off. The entire thing's installed correctly. It has a ton of miles on it. I would definitely have burned up a pump by now if I had installed it wrong. It's just not meant for rock crawling. Perfect product if you're going to run 37s, even if you're going to run 40s and you're just going to be overlanding or doing some hard forest roads or things like that. Great product. definitely should not be marketed to rock crawlers, and I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if you're watching this and that's something you want to get into, absolutely do not purchase this product, or purchase it to get you by. It's much cheaper than a PSC Hydro Assist. So I know that sounds kind of harsh, but I just don't recommend the product. And another thing that should be said, when they sell you this product, they will give you squeeze clamps, which are really, really bad clamps. But squeeze clamps, you know, the kinds that you just squeeze with pliers and slide them onto the tube. With installing this product, you are removing some of your factory hard lines, you're cutting them out and replacing them with soft lines. If you're banging limiter, there's a good chance you're going to blow a line. It happened to us. We blew a power steering pump. We contacted them. They refused to do anything about it, so we were out like $1,500 or $1,800. And it's just something to be wary of. It's not a good product if you are going to be doing heavy off-roading or rock crawling. So not to sound super negative or harsh in the video, I just want to be honest with you guys. That's it. I think I covered everything on the Jeep. We have a ton of plans. We definitely want extreme duty Curry axles, V8 swap, and potentially some 42s. Maybe remove that bed entirely and go with a Bowen's bed. We could remove like 20 inches of the frame, really improve our departure angle, be a total monster, which is really my goal for it. Let me know if you have any questions about the Jeep. You can leave your questions in the comments. I will respond to every single comment. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.